Hello, everyone. My name is Genesis, and my partner is Edwin Serna. He's a doctoral candidate at the Universidad Pablo de Olavide in Sevilla. I am postdoctoral researcher Maria Zambrano at the Universidad de Valladolid. So, we are going to talk about Afro-descendant communities and indigenous people deterritorialized by Colombian armed conflict. This presentation is divided into 6 parts. First is the introduction. On the second part, I'm going to explain the objectives and methodology. Next, I'm going to talk about the territory as an analytical category. And finally, my partner, Edwin Serra, going to explain discussion, result, and conclusion. As you can see, this presentation support that ethnic collectives in a specific region, such as the Colombian Pacific, are in a constant state of fear and danger due to the armed conflict. It is a phenomenon developed by the participation of guerrilla groups, state forces, paramilitary, and emerging criminal gangs. In general, Afro-Colombian and indigenous people are particularly affected in their intrinsic relationships with their territory when their honor, custom, and tradition are transgressed, because their social identities are deteriorized by factors such as forced displacement and extractivism, to mention a few. Then of their research is to demonstrate the human rights violation committed against Afro-descendant communities and indigenous people face due to Colombian armed conflict, among them deterritorialization, when they are forcibly displaced. This research is based on a documentary method and integrating a synthesis of different sources, governmental and non-governmental intervention, the conceptual framework work, and state-of-the-art disciplinary studies, citizen participation, and the legal, political, and historical context, describing its close relationship with ethnicity and culture, essential factor in the political militancy of the social movement that currently claim coexistence in the ethnic ancestral territory in the Colombian Pacific. So, what is the ancestral territory? It is a historically, economically, socially, cultural, and political constructive space. We are observed that the struggle for ancestral territory has been affected by the interest of the market, the state, and those derived from local, including those of the armed groups. But there is also another scenario that complicated that situation, the struggle for interest in the forestry and mining extraction. Now, my partner, Edwin Serna, is continuing.
Well, as part of the discussion that we would like to have here, we would like to remark that in the Pacific, as Lander said in 2008, not only the past, but also the present and the future are contained in the rivers. The rivers is the physical and social center. It is the main street. It is the place of the grounding of the land. And this is really important because all the civilizations development around the water, who is part and the element of life. The rivers is where one is born and dies. It is where domestic, family, and social relationships are built. It is the element that, when made conscious, functions and framework from the adaptation of imposed forms of organization into its own forms of mobilization. The community councils, this has been so important for the communities that are social articulated around them, especially with indigenous ones, because this formula retakes ideas about the former communal organization that was gradually eliminated by the Colombian government during the consolidation of the Republic authority in the 19th century. Territory is not only a delimited portion of the land, with its biophysical complexity, relief, environmental conditions, biodiversity, is above all a constructed space historically, economically, socially, culturally, and politically. Therefore, territory as opposed to physical space has a cultural significance with varied implications at the social level, as it is structured and organized in its especially through relationship between human beings and the other elements it contains. Especially, we have to remark that this relation that human beings developed with the constructed spaces was named topophilia by Twain in 1974, where he proposed that persons generate a powerful instinct of belonging to the space that has been the product of its own construction. As a result of this research that we've been doing, even with the peace agreement signed in Havana, Cuba, these transgressions are a constant that affect ancestral groups within their territories. Also, the appearance of the community councils are important because the appearance of these community councils, like ethnic collective identities and their strategic positioning in the cultural territory relationship. With the 1991 Constitution and the Law 70 of 1993, the recognition of the Black communities appears in organizational terms. This has been important for the defense of collective territories in the context of the armed conflict. We should also do not forget to consider that mining potential of the Colombian Pacific, which has promoted extractive economic policies to this day, that has been a point of conflict that has embroiled the region and its people into misery, always to the benefit of the dominant groups through history. As part of the conclusion, the aforementioned is not only really a concluded issue, as Colombia is not exhausted in the enactment of amnesty law and in the peace dialogue and negotiations. This is only part of the immediate actions taken with ending the armed conflict. This does not mean that it is the only answer to solve the structural problem that Colombian society has suffered for decades, since history shows that armed conflict derives precisely from inherited claims of the past. The phenomenon of deterritorialized social identities has reached a bottom with the multiple manifestation of violence, environmental, armed, and cultural, which have ignored the mandate of the Colombian Constitution and Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention in 1989, insofar as the right granted to Indigenous and Black authorities to administer and manage their territories according to their ancestral vocation is not respected. Those are the references that we've been using in this research. So it's been a pleasure to share this space with you, Dr. Palacios.
Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much.